going down the steps, going down garden path, using regression is still using a script, and we get to throw it all away with ACH. And what do I mean by that is they're using this induction, using the script to regress your client, even if it's like something that you remember, like, even something that you memorize, like a technique that you memorize that, I need to take them down, 10 steps, or I need to take them into the forest path, or, I need to snap them into some sort of a trance, is still using a script or a technique. And most traditional hypnosis techniques are taught like, you have to put a client into a trance for them to have a breakthrough. But when you actually put them into a trance in the beginning of a session, they go into that trance with all of their problems. And what we do in ACH is we do therapy first. And I'm not talking about talk therapy, like where you talk about your problems all the time. I'm talking about therapeutical aha moments, insights, everything that we like untie all the knots and everything like that. That is called therapy in ACH. So once you do therapy first, then your going under traditional hypnosis might happen and might not. And by saying traditional, I mean what you expect the hypnosis to look like, because it's not always in ACH, it's not always closing the eyes, it's not always almost falling asleep, and it's not always feeling completely relaxed and not being able to, lift your hand, or not being able to put down your hand or anything like that. This is what traditionally people think that the hypnosis should look like, or the trance should look like. But in ACH, trance can look in different ways, because we are not seeking for this traditional trance, we are seeking therapeutical trance. So it's not necessarily gonna be looking the way you expect it to look. The same goes for trying to regress clients down their timeline into some sort of a scenes, basically trying to control their experience in some ways, because not all of the problems can be solved with regression, and not all the problems are going to be within their like past scene or event, etc. And in ACH, if the regression occurs, it is naturally occurring phenomenon, and it's not actually induced by a therapist. The client brings it up. So when you are doing the conversational hypnosis with a client and asking them questions and having a conversation and having this hypnotic conversation that you will learn in my training, they spontaneously can bring the scenes from the past. And when they do that, then that's when you can ask more questions about it and let them process that. And the thing is that a lot of my sessions where I had clients spontaneously regress back, these regressions were only tiny bit of my client's solution. So it's not, it hasn't been the whole of the solution. It was only one bit, one tiny knot that they had in that scene, for example. Now let's talk transformation scripts. And when you're using the transformation scripts, and even if you're using their own words that you've collected and taken notes down during the session, it's still trying to force client into some sort of a transformation that you prepared for them. And the problem with that is that you won't know everything that's happening in your client's head. So the tiniest thing that you might say in that transformation, and the client might not have agreed with that yet subconsciously, is gonna throw it away. And so many times I've heard people say like, I've been listening to this audio, transformational audio or something like that, and I just can't yet feel like that I love myself. For example, a script for to love yourself better. Yeah, I can't feel that. I don't believe that yet, and then hence, it doesn't sit with me right. And you might have prepared something with that word and with other words that we said during the session, but that still might not be what exactly they need. Yeah. So basically, clients need to find their own solutions. And all of these things, audios, meditations after the session, they actually interrupt their own processing. So if the processing gets interrupted, then the breakthrough might not last. So one of the things that I tell people after my ACH sessions is to not use any meditations, any hypnotic audios, nothing while they're processing. Plus, with all of these techniques and scripts and everything, how much time do you actually waste on prepping? How much time you waste of prepping homework, prepping before sessions, when your client with ACH can literally be done in 45 minutes or less? I'm not saying all of the sessions are going to be 45 minutes, but I've had sessions that lasted 20 minutes. I've had sessions that lasted a couple of hours. But the basic thing is that during ACH sessions, you are literally doing pure therapy to create these massive breakthroughs, or to create the tiny breakthroughs within that one session. And literally one ACH session is like, 10 or 20 traditional hypnosis sessions, because what comes up during it is all sorts of different things that we help clients to resolve, and sometimes they end up resolving 5 things out of one. And we use no scripts, we use no techniques, and we literally just go into the session and we relax, we follow our intuition, and we know therapy principles, and hence we can create these massive breakthroughs. So if you want to learn how to do therapy in real time, how to utilize everything that your client gives you during your session, comment ACH and I will send you all the details. Plus, there's an early bird bonus and pricing still available. And we start in October, and it's going to be online, live for 3 days.